when your GM don't do right by you. Yup. Pose. Ryan Pose, to be exact. I View Sports Podcast. That's the name of the podcast. But my name ain't important. Only name we need to focus about in this video is your boy Ryan Pose. So there was a report, a curious case of Caleb Williams, Tyler Doom, I believe that's his name. If I messed your name up, my bad, bro. Did a 3-part series talking about the dysfunction of Caleb Williams, the Bears, and Ryan Pose. It's a second part of that. I'm not gonna focus on the Caleb part, but it was a part with Ryan Pose and how he just basically laser focused on Caleb Williams and didn't look other places in the draft. Now, that part is water under the bridge. Yeah, you could have had Daniels, you could have had the trade down, you could have had whoever you wanted because you had the first pick, but you got Caleb. That's part of the problem, being laser focused, but the big thing I want to talk about in this video is Ryan Pose and the way he has constructed this Bears team and what it looks like they might not be what they thought they was. I mean, we can go back on the list. Ryan Pose, a couple years ago, became the Bears GM. He tore everything down, got rid of all the former players, old this and that, brought in a whole new. And he has been retweaking the roster ever since. And that retweak has led him to a 15-38 record. Now, I know a lot of people's up in arms because the Bears got spanked by the Detroit Lions. And when you look at the article and it says how Pose was laser focused on Caleb, didn't want to hear anything about anybody else, it makes sense. And with Pose, it just seems like it's a narcissistic activity with him. Like, I'm gonna bring in guys that I think is okay or I think is good, and this is how we're gonna win. That way, when this team does become successful, you can't say it was anybody from the last GM or it was any other reason but me. And on the flip side of that, this team is bad. So there's no other reason that it's bad than because of you. If that was the case, we don't know, but that seems like it's the case with him. All in all, that article kind of does make a lot more sense. And Ryan Pose, I know a lot of people saying it's on him, they're on his back, but this team has had a talent issue for pretty much most of my life. Yeah, pretty much most of my life. It's just not a talent issue, but with Ryan Pose, he has to take the heat because he's the current GM and he's been here for a while now. Usually rebuilds don't take 4 years, but the way this rebuild is going, the Bears might be good when I think my son's is going to graduate high school about 2031, so this team might be on the trajectory for that. About 2031, Bears should be solid by the way this is going. Couple things. Ryan Pose, you erased everybody from the last GM. Now, when you do that, there's nobody to blame but you, because once you bring everybody that you want in, this is solely on you. You can't say, oh, the last GM players or this and that. You've gotten rid of everybody that has coached or played for the Bears. You've recycled it. There's nobody left to fire, my boy. That's what I'm getting at. It's on you. So you're going to have to take all these L's. You've been taking a lot of L's. Now, Detroit whooping you 30 points, that shouldn't have nothing to do with it. This team was in disarray before that. It just brought it more to the light. Because two things that the Bears have learned in these 2 weeks the season has started, that you are not any better shape in your own division. We ain't gonna talk about the league. We ain't gonna go that far. You know you're not in any better position than you was a year ago. You're still behind Minnesota, still way behind Detroit. And we ain't gonna talk about Green Bay because they look like they rejuvenated that defense. And by the time you get to Green Bay, it might not be nothing left of the Bears. They might be the cooked y'all and threw you out. It might be all the way over. By the time you get to Green Bay, you got a long way to go. So I don't want to sound like a Bears hater. I'm really not. But growing up as a Bears fan, you see a lot of tendencies, and this is a continuous thing. From ownership, they don't care about their fans. You can't say you care about your fans and raise ticket prices and losing seasons. That doesn't show you care. And it don't take 15 years to get a playoff win. Like, at some point, you have to say, you know what, I'm tired of sitting here year after year for 17 games, watching losing. That develops some kind of mindset. I'll be afraid to sit there and watch all that losing as an owner, because this is your team. So you was like, man, let me fix it. Let me go crazy 1-2 years. Sign what I need to sign who I need to sign, do what I need to do, trade, whatever. Yeah, you would think it would have been a year like that. No, it's just been a gradual. Somebody comes in, they basically mess the bid, and then we fire them and we bring somebody else in to mess the bid, and it just continues. I think what this team is, this current Bears team, you are lacking of talent. But to be honest, you was lacking the talent with Justin, with Mitch, Cutler. It's been a lack of talent for a while. But I think the Bears need a new identity. You need to throw that defense identity away. This is 2025. They don't care about defense like that. Guys are stopping people to the best of their ability and still losing by 25 points. Like, defense playing hard as they can. Offenses is just that much evolved. You can't hold these guys to 13, 16 points. That's too much pressure on defense anyway. But anything I say in this video is going to pretty much direct back to how Poles has constructed this team. So I guess we get into that. The defense for the Bears, you had no pass rushers. You had Montez Sweat. To be honest, I like Montez, but not $100 million Montez. I thought Buddy was going to get signed for 70. That's just my thought. You get your money, that's on you. I'm not hating on that, but I didn't think, because $100 million pass rusher, I'm thinking of different type of names. I'm thinking about White, about Gary, about Parsons. Montez Sweat has never been in that exact fold. Now, he was in a crowded line in Washington, so maybe he was hoping he would have a breakout, but even with that, you sign this man and you don't give him no help. So I'm just going to double team him, take him out the game. I'm going to get him tired by just dealing with two men pushing on him instead of one, because he never gets to one-on-one. And then the rest of the side is not okay. You sign Jared Grady. I mean, you sign some other guys, but what are those guys going to do as far as moving the needle? You have Devon Dexter. My bad, I'm saying your name wrong, but you know who you are. You have a lot of guys. One thing I noticed with Poles in his defensive line and offensive line, you got guys that are athletic, that are pretty good shape, they're fast, but they don't have the strength. Offensive line, I see a lot of this. And defensive line, I see a lot of this. So that shows me that you got guys that are in shape, they're athletic. That would be great if we were playing flag football, but in the NFL, some of these guys need the upper body strength, and it's just lacking. And it seems like you have signed a bunch of guys that have potential, they have raw talent, but they don't have the ability to get to the quarterback, or they don't have the ability to block for the quarterback. On the flip side, you have Braxton Jones. He's athletic, but at the same time, it's a lot of pushback. The man, by the time he gets his hands up, he's going backwards. They give him time to get you up out the club type treatment. Like, this man gets bullied constantly, and that's on Poles too, because you found these guys. You keep finding these guys. I don't know where you keep finding them, but you need to stop finding them wherever you found them. Leave them where they're at. Next time, just leave them there, big bro. You keep bringing in the same type of guys. You can't get a whole defensive line of men that constantly don't get to the quarterback. That's a fail. I don't count Montez Sweat because you didn't draft him. He was already in the league. So you have been drafting guys that don't get to the quarterback. And then you draft offensive linemen that don't block the quarterback. You got to help these people out, man. Caleb, you in a bad way. That man set you up for failure. And as hard as he was laser focused on you, it doesn't seem like he has your best interest at heart. And a lot of people probably won't say it, but there's some people on this team, I don't want to put your name out. They put your name out enough, bro. that don't really have the energy to fake it. And I think a lot of people, if you think about the Bears players, you would probably figure out who I'm talking about. But I don't blame him, because he's already dealt with a losing team before, and he comes to another team that they ain't really no better. They just got more history and a bigger city. But Ryan Poles, you built this team, and you gotta take these L's. These L's are all on you. This is what happens when your GM don't do right by you. When your GM says you're my guy and then don't make you feel like the guy. And I'm starting to notice a trend with Poles, because you said that Justin was your guy and you didn't get nothing for him. Now Caleb, you put in a little bit more work for him, but you're not getting the right people. So it's a you problem at this point, because you didn't get no talent for Justin, and then you get some kind of like talent, but you're still not getting nobody that can do anything that needs to be done, which is block for the quarterback. And Joe Tooley is 33 years old. He should not be your best offensive lineman. We don't know how much left this man has in the tank. That's too much pressure on him. At 33 years old, you don't do that. Jonah Jackson, I know you came from Detroit. You know Ben Johnson's system. Who cares? You getting pushed back a lot. We still don't know what Darnell Wright is going into year 3. Still don't know. That's your top 10 pick. You could have had Jalen Carter. For all the mess they think Jalen Carter is, you needed that type of player, because for your boy Eberflus that you said you cared about also, he needed a 3 technique for that defense to be successful. There was your 3 technique. And if you believe Eberflus was a coach of men, he can be able to coach them, then you should have got him, even if he seemed like he was a troubled soul or whatever. I mean, a lot of people are troubled souls, but you need talent, my man. Hopefully he would have been better. All you can hope for is that he would be better in Chicago and not go to Philly, a team that was already a playoff caliber team, and now look at them. They Super Bowl probably bound again. Poles, man. This could be an hour video playing with you. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't even gonna do that to you, but this team is on you. You have to fix this. A lot of that stuff in the report, I could see it making sense. Because the way this team is structured, you have no pass rush, you have no offensive line. You don't have too many players on this team that you can just feel comfortable with, that you know they're going to be able to do their job easily every week. You only have probably 3 of them. I'm not even going to say their names, but a lot of question marks. And for these top 10 picks, I'm still tripping off the tight end. Why a tight end? Why? What do you need a tight end for? You sign, commit, and then you go get a top. That's arrogance. Just like when you got Caleb, you didn't need Roman Doomsday. You needed a left tackle. You got receivers are no good, because now you got a logjam of receivers, and you still don't have a left tackle. You put Braxton Jones out there to let that man get exposed every week. And since it seems like that's somebody you drafted, he gets a longer leash. I'm pretty sure if he was Ryan Pace guy, he would have been gone a long time ago. It's just crazy how lenient you are with the people you draft. I understand those are the people you bring in, and I know that's a thing for a lot of GMs, but when you constantly losing, maybe you need to do something different. Or you need to take some more advice. Because unfortunately, with Chicago, it seems like you get rewarded for your buffoonery, because they gave you a 5-year extension. But a lot of this was job security. Caleb was job security. Ben Johnson is job security, because they're the hottest quarterback name at the time. So that helped you to get your extension. So we got job security going, and we really don't have to improve this team, it seems like, because you got 5 years to go. So, like I said, by the time my sons graduate high school, you might be headed in the right direction. Probably not. You're a wild boy, Poe. You gotta calm down. You was a former offensive lineman. Stop drafting guys Stop bringing in these offensive line, these projects, these raw talents. Get you somebody that looks like they know what they're doing for real. Not a hope or a wish. We can hope and wish all the time, but come on now, get you something that looks a little bit better. Bad decisions. A tight end in the first round, you not the team for that. The Colts took a tight end in the first round at 14. They have receivers, they have offensive linemen, they have what they believe is their future quarterback. They needed a tight end because they haven't had one in a while. That was a thing for them. You have one already. That's not a pick you make. Just like a punter in the 4th round. Childish. All these cornerbacks and defensive ends. You have cornerbacks that don't intercept the ball and defensive ends that don't rush the passer. 2nd round picks, 3rd round picks. These picks are piling up and this stuff is going to weigh heavy on you. And I guess you'll still be here at some point, but you're going to have to start doing better decisions, my boy. This is on you. There's nobody left to fire. After Eberflus, that was the last tide to fire. You fired coaches, players, everybody's gone but you. So this is weighing on you. And I'm not even shocked that this is happening because this team looked like it was about this back in April. I mean, yeah, you got draft players, you got young players, but you're gonna need some of this. You're still waiting on the talent that you drafted 3 years ago to develop into something. So, what are you gonna do with this group of young talent? Well, I guess we should have known Poles was on that foolery. When you first start your job, you don't have a 1st round pick, not your fault. But you had 2 2nd round picks, your first draft, and you draft a slot corner and a box safety. Who does that? That's crazy, boy. Even if you wasn't going to go hard for Justin or whoever you want to bring in, if you was planning for Caleb, it seemed like you were doing that. You could at least got you a receiver and a left tackle, somebody, a pass rusher. Who drafts a slot corner that's set to be a slot corner? Can't be a outside nothing and a box safety. And they both hurt often. Now, hindsight is 2020, but it's just stuff like that. The foolery of it all, Poles. This is what happens when your GM don't do right by you. You get this, and then you have all these people upset. This city wants you, boy. They want to take you out. They want to just, take you to a disclosed place and just give you a few lashes. Not slavery lashes, we don't do that. But, just a few of those. You done got these people hopes up. Now I know better. I ain't gonna let my hopes get up no more. I done seen a lot of losing. I've been a fan since '98. You ain't gonna get me like that. But some of these people thought you was gonna be the one, and you hurt these people, man. You apologize. You need to make your press conference. It's Wednesday. Y'all have press conferences on Wednesday. Get out there and apologize to them people. Tell them you're gonna do better, man. Bring flowers and roses. Act like you didn't cheat on your girl. You making up for it. Do the right things, man. These people trusted in you. Now they hurt. They hurt. You ain't gonna get me though. I already knew you was on that fool. 2 picks. Your first 2 picks is slot corner and it's box safety. You a wild boy. You play too much. But I appreciate y'all watching this video. This is just a little Poles rant. I mean, do he deserve it? Probably. Am I wrong? That's up to y'all. Do I hate this man? Not at all. Am I surprised by it? Nope. But that's just how I was feeling, so I figured I'd just go ahead and, let this be known because the sun is shining. I just felt like ranting about the Bears and Ryan Poles today. Appreciate y'all. Catch y'all in the next video.